Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to remind you this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Ahika Comics, Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, Sodasan0424, and VideoGamer75. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it'll really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, if this was like a real show with like music intros, we could do like a little pre-skit and then roll the intro, but I don't do that, so I'm Omega. It's me right now. That other guy's lucky. He already cracked his drink.
Mm-hmm. The only difference here is I'm pretty sure Omega's drinking coffee and I'm drinking a Monster.
Yeah. I think this is this probably isn't maybe it's the first time I've on air had a coffee. It has definitely not been the first time I've needed a coffee to do the show, but...
Yeah. Today we are definitely reestablishing our roles as professional sleepy boys, because Jesus fucking Christ, I am tired.
Yeah, so I'm still something. At the end of last show, I think I commented that I felt like I was coming down with something, and yes, I was. I definitely was. That's why there was no What's Up last week.
Yep.
Why the channel's been a little sparse in the July, because in addition to some other stuff going on where I got a lot of stuff to do around the house and just take care of a lot of extra stuff, I've also been sick and like dead tired.
Lucky just has a lot of things going on in his life, but let's disregard that. I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Summertime Madness. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest in FGO's related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should go continue farming those embers. Like me.
Lots of people still doing that.
I am.
Alrighty, so... here's the show, and we should say before we get started, this should be our first show with the new thumbnail and background as provided by graphic designer Lucky.
I am nodding vigorously.
So yeah,
a little bit of explanation on that. Basically, now that we're monetized, I definitely feel that should be putting more effort into things that are eye-catching yet easy to understand. Because, unfortunately, that was one of those things that I kind of felt was weird about the thumbnails. Not so much about the backgrounds, because when the background, it's all up in your face. But when you're looking at, like, a tiny thumbnail, I kind of feel like some of the details of our previous works was maybe a little hard to understand. So I decided to make something that could still keep that, but also gives you a blinding view of what the show should be about. So... I tried to incorporate many elements.
Because that's the other thing. A YouTube thumbnail is not a YouTube thumbnail, you know? Like, because depending on where you're looking at a video on YouTube, you will get many different sizes of thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Like, if you're looking at our video list, for instance, the thumbnails are super small.
Yeah.
And it's probably about the size they are on, like, mobile, so it's harder to see some stuff. Like, part of the title might get cut off by the time code, and so on and so forth.
So everyone, as you know, we like our feedback, so if you have anything to say about the new thumbnail, let us know, and if it's something I think is constructive, I'll see about working on it. Like, we passed it around the Discord, and things were generally favorable, but, you know, I think there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, it's still in the prototype phase. We are still testing and piloting and focus grouping, and we'll see how it kind of turns out, how people like. And actually, who knows, this might be... since the change-up, this might be the time where I finally drop the numbers from the actual thumbnail. Because so I think we added in the number after a while to let people know this was an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But I also know that people are sometimes intimidated if you, like, archive panic, so I was planning at about... I have no idea which number this is right now, because I'm not in that headspace. Number's bad. But I was planning on about 100-ish just dropping the number from the title. And just, it lets like FGO in the episode title. And so, no number. And if we just drop the numbers out of the thumbs, then yeah. I'll leave it in the description if you want to track, like, oh shoot, did I miss a number? But, you know, we're trying to grow and expand. We don't want to freak anybody out and be like, oh my god, these guys have 100 episodes. Whatever will I do? No, it's fine, dog.
You say that, but I was actually talking to some people. They keep saying, yeah, I know. Well, sometimes I like to go back and start from all the way from the beginning. I'm like,
They do. Those people are weird, and they're not normal. But it's good, because all our past episodes are monetized now, and there's a lot of hours, which hopefully have a decent number of ads that will roll on them. which
You're
is
weird
which
and
is
we
another
love you.
thing that is very much in dev for us, because like I don't know why the videos have about the same amount of views. I'd have to double check like what their integration is, but last week's Let's Talk FGO has not, at least according to YouTube, earned as much as 2 weeks ago, the first monetized one we did. Even though they're about, well, I guess now it's reached a point where there's about a few hundred more views difference, and not to get too deeply into our finances, we don't want to bore anybody, but still, there's some disparity there, and I'm like, is it like an engagement thing? Or what? We'll see. We'll see with this episode. Anyway, hey, speaking of the episode, we've done the intro, we've done all the business stuff, let's do segments, and now we're at plenty of clear time that advertisers don't get freaked out. Let's check in with everybody's favorite kohai.
先輩、起きてください。
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. And yes, I can actually say that almost none of our videos are demonetized or limited monetized. Advertisers are okay.
we can let Lucky say fuck.
Yeah. Well, at least in the show text, we had a conversation about some of the words that appeared in the word scramble for the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, so trying to be advertiser friendly, we should probably just change those just so that we're trying to follow community guidelines.
Yeah.
So and once again, that's another thing. We'll see what happens when we pilot it.
Yep.
But yeah, so today's pro tip, here's one actually suggested by the community. Got this in a comment lately. NP damage is not the final say. Some servants can actually do way more damage with their basic card damage, with crits and certain buffs, keep in mind, than they can intrinsically on NP cards. You see this a lot on AoE servants. Like, a lot of ideally what you're doing is not just the NP, but you're also doing, like, a BB or an arts crits on those turns to, like, really drive up your damage levels and success. So, keep that in mind. It's not all about the NP damage numbers. Because, God knows, Skahawk has, like, one of the craziest high damage multipliers on her NP, being single target. She's got a steroid, and she's actually got 2 damage steroids, because she's got a trait damage and a card steroid. I think she's still at like the top level of NP damagers. But experienced Skahawk players will know that depending on what CEs you have in your setup, it can be hard to drag her to that NP level sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
So you gotta think your thoughts and plans.
It's like I love my Skahog, but like I need to bring her with like usually with like a waiver or a Tamamo so that I can just get that additional MP gen on the side. Like Skahog by herself, she her as I said, her normal hits are great with like high hit count and stuff. Just
well, yeah, her hit counts are real goofed up because her arts is low, but her buster is high, confusing the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
Skahawk's one of those few servants where if you're doing a rainbow-colored chain, you want to actually end on the buster card. Usually, you do ABQ to end on the quick, because every servant has at least one of the colors, right? So,
yep.
With Skahawk, you usually want to end with her buster, like an AQB or something.
Yeah. It's real weird. But I love her regardless.
Alright, let's move into Records on the Throne, our regular achievement topic. Lucky's been in the Ember Mines a lot, in case you can't tell, so he's got a lot to say. I will just briefly comment that Jaggerman's smile is protected. I'm working on some other stuff, but, you know, I've been busy and sick, so.
Yeah.
Jaggerman is pretty impressive, though, I will note, before Lucky gets started on his tirade. In that, I think I had her at, like, 10 or something before I started this, and I've been farming a lot of Assassin Embers for a reason that we'll talk about in a second, so.
So, my records, so, Bunyan, Tama Lancer, Kia Lancer, Rider Mordred, and Assassin Skahawk, all smiles are protect. I'm working on getting Marie up right now in these Ember Mines. Honestly, I probably would have already had Marie done, but my phone died like a half hour before maintenance.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes.
I was like, no! And then I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna go play Azure Lane and get more new subs.
That reminds me,
But,
shit, did I even... I think I did some builds. Luckily, I can only care about literally one sub, but...
But, yeah. So, like if I remember, like I basically I just want to get all the Summer 1 servants done because while I don't think they don't give an additional bonus.
No, it's
for...
because we'll talk about this more later, maybe. But the one big, I think, quality of life change is that for the rerun, there's no weird spread or nothing. It's just this class gives this drop.
Yep.
Which is way simpler. Thank God.
It is way simpler. But the Summer 1 servants will be bonus servants for the Summer 2 event. So that'll be, if I can get them all done now, that'll give me a fair lead into Summer 2, so I don't have to worry so much. Because, like I've said, like I'm saving a lot of my quartz and tickets for Summer 2. So I'm probably going to get a fair amount of CEs and stuff, but we haven't done this pregame for Summer 2. We still got probably like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I believe so, because this one's... Let me actually check what the duration on the current summer rerun is. I believe it's a couple weeks. We're doing a lot of stuff concurrent, but let's see. No, ends in 16 days, so it might overlap a little on the tail. I kind of hope not.
Yeah.
But
so we got a couple...
The reruns, there's a couple weeks worth of space in there.
Yeah. So I definitely want to get those, get that all hammered out.
And in fact, unless they like really surprise us and like put it earlier, that will probably be 2 weeks time frame. Will probably be about the time we do a pregame.
Yeah. So I just want to get all my girls ready for that, and welcome the new swimsuits.
So I've got 437 quartz waiting for the 22nd because, as usual, goddamn, they make me wait forever.
Oh, they do. I think I am going to be rolling on the Da Vinci Day on the Holmes banner.
Yes, I have sworn that I will spend the well, it's not because of the way math works. It's not the actual literal 30 quartz we got for the anniversary, but I'll spend the 30 anniversary quartz, or the actual one of the two, because we're getting 30 two ways, to actually roll once on the Da Vinci Holmes Day. I have already spent a few tickets. I didn't get anything but some of the CEs, but I did get the 5-star CE, which has a Roman on it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, like, I did the trial quest, and I'm still not really sold by Holmes. Like, I'm sorry for anyone who loves him or his kit. I'm just like, he's a cool guy, but he's not the coolest. So, I'm probably gonna get
I can tell you that that's probably not an uncommon thought, because I see the numbers when you guys watch Wanted, and, Holmes is very, very middling. I think, Scheherazade scored higher than him.
Yeah, oh, shoot, we didn't write this down. Omega... who did you get for your GSSR?
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that when we talk about it later. But yeah, okay, let's talk about GSSR. Because this was late on a Saturday. Well, actually, we're going to move into news, so I'll kind of talk about the whole thing with people. We'll start at the 2nd anniversary. We'll kind of run down through what's actually in it later. But even though I was very tired and pretty sick, I stayed up to watch the stream with our audience. I don't know what Lucky was doing, probably playing Warframe, or just didn't want to deal with that many people. Though I was enforcing the rule with an iron fist. I was like, yo, if you're making noise when I don't want you to make noise, it's not good for you. But we sat up and watched it. The panel was pretty good, I think. I know some people have been overly critical. Me, I'm just glad that we could get some presence concealment jokes. Poor translator-san. Her presence concealment is very low. Shiokawa's translator had much better presence concealment. She literally hid behind him in his shadow. But it was great. We got Ayako Kawasumi there, and we got Rumi Okubo, voice of Astolfo, and Liz. They did some line reads. They talked about some stuff they did. Naturally, Saber went to Star Wars Land because they both got to LA a couple days early. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. But eventually, we boiled down to the total. The actual details. Salt River came out, told us everything, did the whole thing. And then I stayed up, once again, way too late, even though I said I was probably going to pop off and not. I stayed up talking to the community for 2 more hours until the GSSR started. So basically, everybody did their roles together in the voice channel, or at least a large portion of people did. So, hey, join our Discord. You can join that community. So I got to go first, because I was the dyingest. So let me tell this story. Let me pitch this to you. I fire up the GSSR. I go in right away. I'm, buy all the quartz, do the thing, waiting for everybody. First card. It's an assassin. It's no big deal. Oh, it's sparking. Oh, hold on. It's turning from silver to gold. Is this it? Is this the 8th Satheno? No, it's first Hassan. Which was great, but I swear to God, I was like, well, here it is. That's usually how my Sathenos appear. So yeah, I got first Hassan, I got the Bone Daddy himself. I've been furiously trying to level him. And I'm really glad that both of the exchange, 2 of the 3 exchange tickets are bones and chains. I'm very happy for that, because I'm using a lot of them very fast. But yeah, so I got first Hassan.
So
I'm kind of weird about it, because like, in the moment, I think I was too tired to be like genuinely excited. But at the same time, I'm like, no, that's really cool. I wanted him. I couldn't roll on him at the time. That's neat.
That's good.
It wasn't a dupe, so thumbs up me.
Thank you! Excuse me.
It wasn't another notch in my road to Unlimited Spirit Origins through Tama Lancer, so... We'll see. Lucky, have you ever gotten a USO?
Nope.
Okay, so we'll see in a couple of weeks if I'm the first one on the show to get one.
Let's see. My highest SSR is my NP4 waiver.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm gonna roll on a banner that technically has a solo rate up on SSRs, so we'll see. But yes, Lucky. What did you do for GSSR? Because I don't think I saw you post this anywhere.
I typed it because mine wasn't really a lot of fanfare. It really wasn't. Because I didn't get anything, well, depending on who you ask, but in my personal opinion, I didn't get anything super amazing. So, I was infected by, this is my excuse, I was infected by Rumi Okubo. Because there was one segment they had during their stream when a question was asked, if they were involved in an actual Holy Grail war, what servant would they take? Kawasumi-san, she said Merlin, which I thought was, I thought it was top percent because, as you know, Artoria's for days. And she picked Merlin.
And also, if people don't know this anecdote, Ayako Kawasumi has literally made a Merlin appear. I think it wasn't for her role, but for somebody rolling on a JP stream, she cried out, "Merlin, come!" and he appeared. So, yeah.
It's kind of amazing. But Okubo-san, her choice would be Ozymandias. And I can't remember all the reasons why she said, but the one that always stuck out with me is how she got real serious and just said, Ikemen. Just, he was a hottie, and that just stuck with me, and I was laughing about that. I was still laughing about that when I rolled. So, yeah, I now have an MP2 Ozymandias.
Probably not the worst dupe. I bet you use Oz occasionally.
No, my Oz is level 1 still.
Oh, rip. Well, now you gotta use him.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing, for my single target writer, problems that we need, I use Maeve.
Yeah, I'll admit, if I got Oz, that would be an awkward situation, because I've got 2 single-target Buster writers already in the 5-star slot, so...
So I was like, So
wait, was this...
sitting on my back...
This was definitely before I made the comment where the true sadness is Lucky's level to NP ratio for 5 stars.
Yeah. I had people, just giving me Fs and coffins in chat when I was telling them about, how I have multiple SSRs with, MP2 and 3, and they're just sitting in there level 1, because I'm just I'm lazy. I am a filthy casual.
Well, I don't know if you're that lazy. When you actually go into the Ember Mines, you're pretty...
Well, that's kind of the thing is I'm trying to keep my backlog from getting bigger. And I'm trying to basically work my way back. So that's why, when I got, when we were in the CCC event, it was oh, Passion, I'm get her to fucking 80. Oh, I got a melt, get her to fucking 90. Suzuka, 80. Kiara, 90. But I still have fucking, Alter on top of that. I got Scheherazade on a random, and I just didn't have the stuff to level her, so now I'm just and we got Summer 2 here in a couple weeks, so I'm just So I'm trying to... That's why I'm, working so hard right now on this, thing, because, honestly, I don't really, here's the thing about reruns, and I know, some people are gonna be oh, but I'm not too fussed about getting things out of the rerun. Yes, they're gonna be helpful, but I'm gonna basically focus on just the few things I absolutely need, like the wines.
And that's
And then I'm gonna probably I'm probably gonna be spending more time in the Ember mines trying to fuck about.
I need to
Like,
actually look at the shop and compare, because I'm like, I have no idea how much I have in certain mats. I know because of the exchange ticket, which we'll talk about in a second, that I have only 89 chains, and that's not enough chains. If I know the way chains go, that's not going to be enough. They'll vanish rapidly. But other than that, I'm like, I don't know how much I have of stuff, so I need to actually look at the store and consider it. Because otherwise, for me, it's all foes and EXPs. Yep. And the unlimited QP exchange.
Yeah, I was able to save up a little bit of QP like during the past few events, so I had like 50 million to work with. And just through leveling, I'm already down to like 40 million. So I'm just like,
yeah, I'm at about 60. I had a lot more, but Ishtar's now level 94, so Grails are expensive, guys.
Yeah, they are.
Shoot, do I want to train Grailer all the way up to 100 before summer? I don't know if I can do that. That's a fuck ton of EXPs and QP. I don't know if that's possible.
So, actually, I should mention this. Now that I got Tama Lancer to 90, basically now I just gotta get her skills to 10, 10, 10, and I can finally start grailing. Because because I'm not so worried so much about, farming for cookies. It's my QP woes that always, is the roadblock to doing anything. Forever I had to wait to get Tamamo's last skill up because, I'm sorry, again, this is me being a filthy casual. I don't like farming doors. I really don't. Generally, I don't like farming embers either. Like, usually you get a lot more...
embers at least is... Hands is a pretty easy strat to, figure out, right? Like, just, okay, do you own a number of kaleidoscopes and a waiver? Okay,
well, no,
you're
here's
fine.
The thing. The same theory applies. Because basically you just have to whip out, I whip out, I think it's Drake, Medusa, and Alexander to farm doors.
Yeah, but also if you want to do doors the best, you want to try and squeak in a couple Mona Lisas in there.
Yeah,
I haven't built my
other
ideal QP Hell team yet.
Yeah, that's my other bottleneck is I don't have an MLB Mona Lisa. I just don't have the mana present for it. I've been trying to save up after getting Chaldea lunchtime, but it's slow. I think I'm at 2,000. And it always takes a big hit whenever the new month comes out, because I buy everything.
Yep.
It's just useful.
Well, luckily there's a shitload of mana prisms in this event.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But as I was saying, I'm not gonna, the rerun is not my main concern right now.
No, and a lot of people are of that sentiment because they're overlapped. Hey, let's talk about it. We've been going for 20 minutes and we haven't even done the news yet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, let's power through some stuff. So, first off, the only thing new in JP is there's an Epic of Remnant manga tie-in. Interestingly enough, it's weird. They're only just now getting their manga tie-ins. So there's a series of commemoration quests which give you CEs tied into Agartha, Shimosa, and Seraphix, because those are the manga volumes that are being published right now.
Again, I appreciate that they basically established Seraphix is a singularity.
Yes, the even though it's a limited event because it's a collab, they have firmly established that it counts as a story event.
Yep.
So here's a weird one. If I understood this from the wiki right, if you've beaten Fuyuki and log in during this time period, you get a single Saint Quartz. I think that's right. So somebody can correct me if that's wrong, if that's a 3 or something, but that's what I wrote down. And various Agartha, Shimosa, and CCC servants get a bonus. They get double success chance, they get half AP and rank ups and interludes, and it's a big fucking list. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can guess who it is. Were they in those story chapters? Okay, it's them.
Oh yeah.
And so, the big one, Fate Grand Order 2019, second anniversary. So, our login rewards got slightly upgraded. Log in consecutively for days, which is still ongoing, so everybody remember to log in right now. If you missed your login at midnight because of the maintenance, remember. Because it's consecutive. But it ends in 30 Saint Quartz, which normally this would end in 10 tickets, but 30 Saint Quartz is better, because that's an actual 10 pull with guarantees, as opposed to tickets.
Yeah, that was one of those things that I was actually lamenting, the fact that we can't do 10 pulls with tickets. Because I got almost 60 tickets. I'm going to be smashing a button for a while here.
Yeah, you are. I know the feeling. I don't have a lot of tickets right now. but because of reasons. But yeah, no, I've saved lots of tickets before, so. So here's another upgrade we've gotten that's moved up for us. Not only is main story half AP, main story is now permanently half AP, all the way up to Temple of Time, everything half AP. We finally got there. So that's good. I expect to hear us relate a lot of quarter AP from now on, because that's what they do. We also got the new Extra Master Missions tab, 10 sync quartz for each singularity cleared, including Temple of Time, so that's a total of 80. Now, there was a display bug in the early couple of days of this, where some people were seeing quests that they weren't allowed to claim. That's part of the start dash. Basically, almost everybody who's been playing for an extended period, you basically already got those quartz. It's just, now they display as part of extra missions. You would have just got them in your mailbox before for completing Fuyuki and stuff.
Oh.
So, yeah, there was a glitch where those were displayed to everyone, even though they shouldn't be, because most people already got the rewards. But it's now part of the start dash renewal. Which is in here somewhere. It's a bullet point. So, new exchange ticket system. That's right. Welcome to logins. You get a ticket every time you log in, which you can exchange for any one of 3 mats. This month, chains, bones, and seeds. So if you're still hurting for chains, you can still pick them for this month. I know some people were kind of like, wait, no, don't do that yet. I still need chains. Don't worry, they got you covered. Because this is actually different than when JP started. We might see what JP got next month, because obviously their anniversary is later than ours, but we'll see. This also means that you can probably expect a regular segment from us on the show now, reporting what the monthly login ticket is.
Yeah.
At the start of the month, we'll go, hey, this month, your items are these. So, half AP daily quests, obviously, we've talked about that before, so embers, doors, cookies. I probably really should farm cookies, but I don't have the energy for that right now.
Oh my god.
That's unfortunately, skill gems is kind of a pain in the ass. I
honestly,
really can't wait for a lotto event. That's when the real cookie hours is.
Cookie hours. Yeah, Nerofest should be what, the September?
I believe it's Sep, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be a big lotto, and we'll deal with more BS challenge quests. But now I have a Merlin, so fuck you, game. If you're gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat. Anyway, if you want to hear our thoughts on challenge quests, listen to those episodes from last year.
Oh boy.
We've also, this is actually once again an upgrade from JP, we've got ×3 chance of super and great success during the event, which has saved my butt a couple of times. Very useful, very good.
I don't care what anyone says. That feeling when you get you start at level 40 and you just get a level max.
Yeah, when you're minding your own business, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna level yet, and then you get boom. I'm like, yes.
It's like, oh, I think every time that happened to me, like I said, I am blessed.
All right. So we already mentioned the start dash renewal. Most people who are actually searching for our show probably don't care about that because they've been playing a while. But if you just started playing, you'll get a whole bunch more extra stuff, more starting quartz, which is good because a lot of people have complained about how a lot of our quartz rewards were front loaded on the server. But anyway, rank up 7. So this is a double stacked. You get 2 a day. So the order should be Shakespeare, which is not spelled right. Google, what the fuck? I blame Google because obviously when I wrote these, I was not in my right mind. But Shakespeare, MHXA, Dion, Amakusa, Babbage, Sanzo, Edison, Tesla, Jinke, Enkidu, Spartacus, MHX, Fion, and Karna. So there's a big long series, and I can only do like half of those. Thanks, game. Oh, well, I'm busy with other stuff. I need to check in, though. There might be some more I can get, because there's more quartz in there. And then we got the Sherlock Holmes trial quest in the order-based banner, so that's rotating through every day or so. Holmes, and then some other stuff that rotates. You know, you can get various focused on people. Like, Orleans
Actually,
has
here's
got
a question.
I'm not... Go for it.
For the Da Vinci Day, it says it has the Anniversary 1 CEs. Is it going to be both sets of CE for Anniversary 1
I believe it will be
and
both
2?
sets of CEs, yeah. It's
okay.
Also putting in the old ones in case you missed.
Okay.
So yeah, there's
so
that.
I do like my CEs.
Yeah, there's some great new CEs. I think I've gotten 2 copies of the Olga Mary 4-star CE, which was nice. Afternoon Party, I think it is. And it's not a terrible CE either, so that's cool. So that was rank up, that was order-based banner. And then the GSSR Lucky Bag we already talked about. Some people were like, well, they make it 15. They didn't. It was still 30. I know that upsets some people, but I feel like we're not quite ready for that rollover, you know. That's later in JP and, popularity and stuff. But They're still doing decent. They ran it, I think, for a longer period, so you've got more time to buy the quartz if you need it. And we've already talked about what we got, so. Some people are woefully disappointed, some people are not.
Yeah.
And neither of us got Da Vinci, so fuck you, Dallas. It's just a little thing for the community.
Yep.
And then finally, also, this was announced shockingly at the anniversary, that we're doing Caldea Summer Memory Revival Light, starting 7/12. Oh, hey, that's today.
Yeah.
And going to the 28th, so quite a few days. Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
So most people, I think, should know by now. It's a thing that's happening, and it's there. They've already got the banners up in the rotations. As I said, it sucks for Mordred Rider because she's at the bottom of the list alphabetically. Isn't going to be on solo rate
Actually,
up for
speaking
ages.
speaking of the announcements, something that actually surprised me about this stream is they actually showed the CM for Dead Heat, the second summer event, and they just said coming soon. And I was like,
that's another thing. They announced that it was upcoming. Just because I feel like that is a complaint people do sometimes have, which is just like, what's the next thing going to be? And they're like, hey, fuck you. We know what we got. We got the promo right here. Just
Boom.
wait your turn. So yeah, they showed which by the way, the Summer 2 CM is great.
Oh yeah.
But they showed that off. That will probably be starting either at the end of Summer Rerun exactly, or possibly a little bit before. There might be some overlap, like we said. We don't know. We'll see. The important thing to remember is that much like the summer that's going on right now, Summer 2 is split into two halves, so watch out. The other thing to talk about with the Summer 1 rerun, besides the fact that they fixed all the drops, so now it's not as much of a pain in the ass, is Mash can get her summer costume now. That's right, this is the first costume dress available in the NA server. You gotta complete up to Chapter 3 to get it, but you can get it, and now Mash can be in her swimsuit whenever. Go Mash you. I know as soon as I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna enable it, and she's leading my my support list right now. So yeah, is there any other? I don't think there's any other mechanical notes about the event. Just it's happening, stuff's going on.
Oh, I said they haven't updated shop, which is always good.
Well, yeah, that's usually true with reruns.
Yeah, so I do believe they said there was divine wine in there. I'm all like, I need that. Because I have a thick caster who is just floating around the level 50 area, and I'm just like,
So I just randomly scrolled into general, and I noticed on the comment where you said that you were Ice Dark type, that apparently everyone has agreed that the universal signifier for ice is the ice cream emote. So that's funny.
Yeah.
We're gonna be a little scatterbrained. It took us 30 minutes to get through news, so watch the fuck out, people.
Yeah. Professional sleepy floaty boys here.
Yeah, it is the Sleepy Boys podcast, Vesper.
Mm.
What the fuck was I talking about? I think we're done with news.
Yeah.
Let's do free talk. So, all the Statesmen, it's not over, but hopefully by now you've had enough time to beat all the events and get all your bunions.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lucky, I believe
bunions.
you had a particular reaction to this event, which was not spoken of in our last show because you weren't very far. So, do you wanna talk about that with the audience?
Yeah. So, I went into this event expecting real art and ridiculous gags. 10 out of 10 did not expect fucking feels and I'm gonna protect this fucking daughter. Fuck you. Because when you think about learning with manga and real art, you think the ridiculous gags, the funniness, fucking Altera cop and all that crazy stuff. And, I was kind of expecting this event to be, along that line the entire way through. And it kind of was, because, you had Altera dropping in saying she's fucking Buffalo Bill and Wyatt Earp. Not Buffalo Bill. Wait, did she say she was Buffalo? Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was Buffalo Bill one time.
Yeah, Wyatt Earp. Was she David Crockett? No.
Yes.
Oh, she was?
Also,
okay.
she was Davy Crockett once.
Okay.
Hero of the Wild Frontier.
But basically playing all these, American frontier...
Western shows on TV. I know this kind of stuff.
Playing a lot of, American frontier heroes and stuff. I was like, oh, the chuckles. It's good. Edison's there talking about the Spirit communication device. You're making gags about talking to developers. I'm like, this is a good time. But then you start getting into what Bunyan is all about, and you're just all like, oh no. Why? Especially with the especially with the nameless master, I guess you should say, which is just the real art. But at the same time, that nameless master wasn't holding back with those fucking punches either. Of like what people like, especially like with some of the comments, like only people only like with like level 90.
Yeah, you only get picked for friend support if you are level 90.
Yeah, so it's just like, ooh,
with
that's
high
hard.
level
And then
Cs.
you have Bunyan, who's like literally a 1 star, and you're just like, no, my daughter. It's like,
Also,
what's
hey,
up?
by the way, in case you guys missed it, the Nameless Master's party is only Artorias and Welfares.
Yeah. But
Under-leveled Welfares, too. I literally cleared that with my 3-turn clear team for hand farming.
It was kind of rough. Well, I mean, not rough for you, but rough for the Nameless. It's like, ooh, boy, Nameless Master. But I can't remember what it was I can't remember the exact line, but it was like, I can't remember. I think it was like materials or QP might be limited, but love is infinite. I was like, I'm picking this. I am doing the fucking Gynex pose. I have my fucking Tank and Top of Gurren Lagann music going on in the background. Shit is about to get fucking real. Like, again, like, I think I mentioned this last week, but I didn't, like, I had, like, when I first saw Paul Bunyan, I absolutely despised her. Because, again, like, I have a lot of pride in our American folktales. Like, they're not, like, as rich as and storied as, like, other nations, but the ones we have, like, those are the ones I grew up with. So, because, like, when I was young, I wasn't, like, Lucky was not always as worldly as he is, Like, I grew up in Texas. So, I'm always, like, I grew up hearing stories about Pecos Bill, Johnny Appleseed, Paul Bunyan, Davy Crockett, Buffalo Bill, Anne Oakley, Calamity Jane. Like, those are the things I grew up with. So, when I saw that Paul Bunyan had just been turned into a Rio-style lolly, I was like, what is this? And I kind of grew to accept the servant because, everyone has their interpretations. And he was like, all right, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But I'm gonna say, like, this event 110 turned me around of what I thought of Paul Bunyan. It's like, oh my god, just kneel down and let me ruffle your head. You are my precious daughter. You will come to Chate, you'll eat all my food, and I'll be okay with that. Emiya will fucking throw a fit, whatever. So, it's one of those things of again, like, oh god, well, how do I want to say this? It's like, just always keep your mind open, and, like, just because you think you might know what happened doesn't mean you know what's gonna happen. Like, oh man. Because I'm also really happy that, I think I mentioned this last time, that Geronimo got more screen time, because Geronimo, like, unfortunately, as a 3-star caster with a very poorly designed kit, I'm not saying he's bad, I'm just saying he has a poorly designed kit.
No, the kit is not good. I don't think there's anything functionally wrong with him otherwise, but the way his kit is set up, what it's supposed to do is just not a good idea for a servant like a caster.
Yeah. But, and you really only got to see him in the America chapter, so seeing more of him, I was all like, yes, this is good, I like this guy. It's fucking Geronimo, And, of course, Edison is always great. Because, just him screaming about, industrialization and stuff and all his weird inventions. I'm just like, this event, like, as short as it was like, I feel like it was really well put together for the source material it came from. This event was literally based upon a gag manga, yet was still like it was funny, it was serious, it was thought-provoking, but at the end, it didn't take itself, at the end, you still, like, had a good time. And that is something that I, like, really, really enjoy, because, as I, like, I tell people, Lucky absolutely disregards the meta. I don't do meta. I don't care how good a servant is, I don't care about your tier charts, I don't care about the skill kits. Mostly, it's how much do I like the characters, and how much do I like the story. It's one of the main reasons why I'm really fucking on board Magica Record right now, which is the Madoka Magica based gacha
Yeah, a
game.
lot of people are into that.
Yeah,
in the community.
Mm-hmm. So, again, all the Statesmen completely blew me away, and I fucking love it, and I really hope that maybe they'll do something like that again. I know, what was the event that they just had with the movie directing and stuff? I can't remember.
Dubious Mayho Residence.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping
I have heard people complain that was a little too fan servicey. Like that was
really?
too meta, and not in like the game sense, but in like the community sense. But we'll see. Because once again, as we remarked last week, there are quite a few jokes which was clearly this was an untranslatable Japanese reference, so localization just did a Monty Python reference, which is okay, guys. That's a humor touchstone for me.
Again, kudos to the hecking localization team, because as I said, I was like until we got to the serious point, I was laughing the entire damn time.
And then we run into Columbia, which was a cool reference. I mean, I think they used Altera so much because it was a Learning with Manga event, and she's a big character in that. But like, it worked. And then Extella Altera shows up at the end because she does Teardrop Photon Ray.
Yep.
Which was
one
really
thing I do want to note. I do want to note what was kind of awesome is that Altera definitely references her Titan form while talking. I think I actually took a screenshot of it. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. Hang on. Because again, that's one of those things that I'm always yelling about is, Altera Larva and Titan Altera, because Titan Altera.
And listen, guys, King Protea exists. It's not too much now.
It is not too much. So I need me my giant girls. So give Tiamat, give Titan Altera.
Honestly, normal ass femme fatale Tiamat's not even that tall.
No,
she's normal type tall, but she's not huge either. Like an Ivan, like a Zhang Yu, like a King Protea, literally the hugest.
Oh, I didn't save the screenshot. Damn it!
Rip. There's fucking lumber. Wait, did I want lumber or did I want stone? God damn it, Summer. I really should look at a guide, but it's hard to run the show and look at stuff on the internet at the same time, so I'm just bumbling around different map zones, trying to find the drops I want. Because unlike the Memorial Quest, because it's a rerun, it doesn't. My information tab did not save what drops where.
But I actually did save a screenshot. We can only spend so much money, but we have infinite love to get. I was all yeah, that was if you heard a weird sound in the background, that was the sound of Lucky powering up.
Actually, what is Lucky's power up noise? Is it like a DBZ charge noise?
Let me do some research and get some community feedback.
All right. And I know Iron Drops from the Cave. I did all those. I'm actually because I did all the Mordred scenes last year, so I'm gonna do different stuff this year. And I'm
actually gonna ask
see stuff.
The general chat right now.
What is Lucky's powering up noise? Let's see. What drops do I even have? I don't think I need a lot for the cabins, right? I need some. I would need 30 for stone.
The chugging of a monster was the first response. Thanks for Sarah.
Well, I'll just do all the things for all the apples, and we'll see what happens. All right.
But yes, all the Statesmen, 10 out of fucking 10.
Yeah, great. Like I said, I hope they do another little tie-in, because I know a lot of people were disappointed that there was another Learning with Manga tie-in banner, but it wasn't really an event, right? It didn't do anything new, didn't add anything new.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this before, but Rio's on the record in an interview saying they can't wait for Learning with Manga Rider and Learning with Manga Assassin to be in the game.
Lego Master Knight says, opening a can of monster, most likely. God damn.
It's your own fault. That's our signature. I've stopped hitting the rejoice button and just let you open a can of monster. That is just how the show starts.
That's the time it's time to sit back, relax, and chill with a couple sleepy boys as we talk to you about history and its inaccurate yet accurate portrayals. Good times!
The sleepiest.
Yorokobeshu.
Actually, I leaned away there because I had to blow my nose. All right. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the Statesmen. I don't think we really have any summer rerun thoughts, because other than certain building scenes, I'm mostly powering through the story and just ignoring it to farm. And Lucky's not even really playing it yet.
I'm not gonna really be ignoring it. Well, I'm gonna ignore the second fucking half. Because while the second half had its jokes, it didn't, it didn't endear me like the first half does. Like during the first year, I genuinely enjoyed building up the island and running around and seeing all the interactions and stuff. And I'm gonna try and do that again, just because I'm probably not gonna worry about getting all of them. I'm just gonna pick this is the one I picked last time. I'm just gonna go again. I'm gonna build my island paradise. I'm gonna hang out with my girls. It's gonna be a good time. And of course, honestly, again, I feel like the boys get a bit shafted, I want to say, on the side there. But they still get some good lines, I
don't think we've mentioned this, by the way, but one of the other things graphic designer Lucky does is polished a lot of emotes on the channel.
I have done that.
So
we
have one of our most popular new ones is we have a new version of freezing. For when you need to shout, "Hey, freezing." It happens more often than you think.
Yeah. But words. There's still scenes that I love, Blackbeard, you're gonna broker my Kokoro. I'm all that's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. We also have this other weird one that our mod Jew provided for us. The cursed image, which is the quick icon, but it's blue, but the text is Buster. The ultimate in cursed images, which is just whenever you see something cursed, you just react that way.
And people have been using it, and I'm kind of surprised. Well, let's see, what other ones? Let's see, I cleaned up a couple, I cleaned up Boner and Ab Lick. Yes, I have, there's an emote specifically for licking abs.
Well, listen, it needed to happen.
Yeah, it get used. Let's see, I fixed up phrasing. Actually, let me see here. Let's see the Lotus. Oh yeah, you put back in 0 days.
By popular demand.
The one I'm actually the most proud of right now is I made an Umu emote, which is basically I just took a screenshot from last extra from when Nero was going Umu and bobbing her head.
Yeah, before I think that was just a little Nero's little servant icon. Now it's an actual transparent Nero face, which is good.
Yeah. And I cleaned up Rule Breaker.
Yeah.
Well, I got a new Rule Breaker.
Yeah, Rule Breaker got rebuilt.
And I've also been stealing other emotes. We now have an Ada emote, which gets used. But I did not make that one. Because I realized that we can for emotes now I can just save them and re-upload them to our server. So I've actually been taking animated ones that I like and adding them as well. Because Discord now has I don't know if we actually mentioned this, but we probably did. I'm gonna mention it again. Discord now has the boost thing, and we were able to reach level 1 with boost. So we got 50 more emote slots. I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna start adding more shit. So I started adding animated emojis, but unfortunately only people with Discord Nitro can access.
Yep.
Because we actually have
Slow Dragon Mom. We have our favorite, which is the image was provided for us, but I believe you edited that to be transparent. We've got Golden, which gets used a lot. It's a He-Man edit to be Kentucky, and it's great. People use Friendship a lot, which I really like, because that has been in our roster for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The Altera Sip, which is just a Rio cutout, is used a lot also. Just Altera quietly sipping on a drink. People use that one a lot.
Yeah.
To just,
I'm also, Yeah, we also have Thomas Sip. Honestly, when people say the spicy words, they're either getting a Thomas Sip or an Altera Sip.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're going for. Thomas Sip is more life affirming, because it's a mini mo with popcorn and drink. But Altera Sip is just deadpan Altera sipping. That's hold on, I'm just gonna sit right here and drink my coffee.
Yeah, I do have plans to actually add more mini mos as I find them. Because I want to change our current Tama Nap, which is the sprite of Tama Cat laying down, to a Minimo one. But Mega was like, no, I like this one. I was like, okay. I'll change that one to Cat Nap.
Yeah. And
then the other one to Tama Nap.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm literally the only person who used it, but I own the server, so I can do that. I added a cutout of Christopher Walken from the FMV game Ripper, where he says, "This guy is unfucking believable," and I'm like, I love this. I want this to be my reaction now, because that's a deep-seated meme to me. So yes, I will literally think that about people. Usually I think it about Lucky when I'm on the Discord server, but occasionally other people. And I'm just like, this guy.
You say that, but a lot of times we're on the same fucking page, and it's
That's
kind
true.
of weird sometimes.
We've been doing this show almost 2 years. Our secret twin telepathy is real good. I've sometimes I'm able to call my shot. Other times it's just like, what was it? I think you were talking about how tired you were, and you just said sad. You were like, sad sleepy boy, and I'm like, what? Me was literally typing sad sleepy bunny. Yeah, and we ditched a lot of faff emotes. Also, you brought over something that was from our like original private server, which technically still exists, but we don't use anymore.
Yeah, I think.
Which was menacing, because there's a lot of people who get JoJo references on the server.
Honestly, the JoJo menacing one, I think, is something that all servers should just have, because it's just easy. Oh, but Spirit's like posting a bunch of Astolfo.
A lot of them are animated too. I mean, you can steal them if you want.
I might.
Like, so I'll say this as like a general community policy. I don't like to quote unquote steal emotes. Just because that's not, we've talked about this before, like celebrating the creators, sources are important. On the other hand, this is also the internet. Sometimes it's hard to do all that sourcing and shit. So like, if God forbid you like made any of these edits of images that you probably don't own either on the internet, just to throw that out there. And you come across them on our server and you're upset about it, maybe we can remove them. Otherwise, I don't know, just whatever, they're out there.
See, like, actually, this was one of the conundrums I had while I was staring at my art program. Because I know that there's plenty of YouTube creators out there that'll just grab art off the internet from wherever.
Which, actually, we used to talk about that. We talked about if people would want an art slideshow, because I got shitloads of fan art. But,
but
we were concerned about, especially considering back then and now, once again, we are monetized. We wouldn't want to appeal like we're trying to make money off other people's hard work.
But, what was I gonna say? Oh, but, like, cause, I'm completely fine with, like saying, hey, I throw these in the thumbnail, I give Omega the links, and, we credit them in the description. But at the same time, like, I do kind of, like, want to, talk to artists and be like, hey, is it okay if we, like, use this in the thumbnail or whatever? The problem is a lot of the artists I follow are fucking Japanese and speak Japanese. I'm all like, we have a time difference, we have a language barrier. Do I want to really bother with this? No. Ascension art. We're doing Ascension art. Yay.
It's worked for almost 100 episodes.
Yep.
And yes, in the past, when other people have made image assets and provided them, we've credited them.
Like, honestly, if anyone's like an FGO, like, does the draws and thinks that there's and thinks their stuff is good enough to show to an internet community, hit us up. We might just use your art and be, like, totally willing to credit you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, we do have a few artists in our Discord community. That's why we have the OC.
Yes,
creation.
we have the OC channel. Which, if people haven't read the description for OC Creations is post original content here. Also, apparently, post creative software and art tutorials. What the fuck do I know? That's a me quote, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's... Oh, yeah. Yeah, people help. Although, mostly, people have been posting memes they've created, which is fine.
Yeah, basically, we rapidly turned, like... the community sometimes takes things a certain way. Like, I know some people are artists who still post their work in Art Dump, which is also totally okay. But if you don't want it to get lost in the hustle and bustle of regular Omega posting all the artists he follows on Twitter in Art Dump, which happens a lot, consider OC Creations, where you can post a thing you've made so long as you've made it, and if you didn't make it, I'll get very mad at you. But just post your stuff there. And it's people have been posting edits, they've been posting videos, sketches, art posts. I posted some pictures I took there because I don't really have another good place to put them. Like, one is of my cat, which is labeled my spirit animal, and she's just giving me a dirty look while watching TV.
I was considering if I have anything to post. I was like, meh.
You're fine, spirit. It's not a huge deal, I guess. there is an element of OC in what you said there.
Yeah.
So long as I think you said that you commissioned him, I think it's fine. The point is, nobody steal credit, because that's bad on the internet.
I mean, if it's your OC...
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
You did part of that. Like I said, so long as you're letting people know that you commissioned the piece, I think is fine. Because internet impressions are hard to control, everybody.
Yeah. Good boy.
Fuck these starfish. So let's see. How long have we been going? About an hour. That's good. We managed to faff around. That was all the Statesmen, some other stuff to talk about. Lots of channel stuff. So hey, I wrote this also in Free Talk. Case file started.
Mm-hmm. I have watched episode 1, and I'm excited for episode 2.
Yeah, I watched episode 1 also. It was a good episode. I mean, so for someone like me who is familiar with a decent chunk of the premise beforehand, it was... Some of the exposition was a little dull, because it's like, I know that already. He's gonna do the thing with the people and become the guy. Okay, cool. But luckily they put in a fair number of action scenes into it, which are actually, really well made. The animation is really good, but also break up the dialogue pretty well. And I mentioned this to some people who hadn't seen it yet, that it's not all talking. There's actually some really good action scenes in there, and they're okay. And like, I think the opening is really good because it's got a cold open, which is Fujuki Bridge. Like, and we talked about this because we mentioned that UFO Table is like a consulting animator on it, and I'm like, yeah, I can see why and where, because there are a couple of scenes from Zero which are lovingly recreated, and it's like, yeah, it's really good because you really feel how. I mean, the scene they're showing is basically the biggest turning point in Waver's life up to now. Like, that's a character defining moment for him.
It's the reason why his final ascension is his child form.
Like, that moment is what makes Waver as he is now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. But otherwise it's good. There's some other interesting stuff in there. I think it's a little funny that, like, after, like, they say, like, a year has passed and Waver's, like, walking the earth, he still looks very baby-faced, but he, like, instantly transitions to his old man voice, which I thought was a little funny. There's a lot of smug Renez in there.
Oh my god, there's so much smug
She's so
Renez.
tiny and so smug. How does she?
It's kind of funny, like the part when I can't remember Waver's friend name at the moment, but it's like, did you lose your virginity? And Waver's like, Lady Renz is like, I am very interested in this question, and you're just like, whoa, smug has gone overload to. We have like a smug overload now. And it's great. Like, honestly, for a series that, like, it is, like, equal parts comedy and serious, it's, like, really, like, well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think of how I can say this without actually spoiling anything, because I don't actually want to spoil Case Files. We got episode 2 coming tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first episode. I think if there's anything that was talked about there, we can talk about that part. But, yeah, we did give a spoiler warning. But, yeah, it's just... I think it's really well the first episode was really well composed. Like, it moved very well from moment to moment and talked about some stuff. So that's cool.
I said the animation is good. Talk about, like, they did a really good job setting up, because remember, they did the episode 0, like, several months ago.
Oh, yeah, it was at New Year's, actually.
And it's all, yeah, it was at New Year's. And so we've just been waiting, and this episode is basically the setup episode. Like, why, like, what is Waver doing? Why is he in the position he is in? You know, and, like, what is he doing going forward? Because, like, as I said, as someone who doesn't go out of his way to find information, like, I have no idea what's going on in Case Files. And now I can definitely say, oh, okay. Again, spoilers, Waver decided to literally take on the debt of the Rains family, promise to, fix their fucking crests, and hold the child of Emilio until Lady Rains comes of age. He's literally shouldering an entire family on his back because he feels guilty about what happened back in Fuyuki. I was like, oh.
And basically, Red is actually very confused by this because she, has him at her mercy the whole episode, and then she's like, okay, I have some demands, and you're like, these are clearly unreasonable, and she's like, all right, you're gonna do this, this, and this, and Waver's just like, yep. Okay. Yes. those jokes about Waver
That is
being
it,
overworked in FGO are not just FGO, basically. No matter what happens, the man works.
Mm-hmm. Now I just gotta figure out, I just need to find a Grey Origin episode, because now I still have questions about her.
I'm sure we'll cover that somewhere, because that's the thing. This episode was an introduction to Rena's character and to Waver.
Yeah.
And the episode 0 kind of introduced the whole cast and their dynamics. But
Because I definitely know, like, because it says, like, Waver dislikes looking at Grey's face, and it's a saber face, and it's...
Mhm.
And, you know, I think at, like, one point, like, definitely regularly shows, like, Artoria standing, looking menacing, and I was like, is there... It's like, I have questions, and I want this anime to answer them, and as I said, the main animation company is Troika, which, usually their animation work is really, really good. You can look at titles like I'll Know Zero and Recreators for that. But sometimes their story elements get a little lacking, especially in later halves, I want to say. This was definitely the problem with I'll Know Zero and with Recreators. Started strong, did not quite clinch the finish.
well, this being an adaptation, hopefully
Yeah,
that's not a problem, because they
Yeah,
have several arcs to pick from, and I think they're only doing one.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping, is that since this is a, you know, adaptation from a light novel, and I think does it have a manga?
I believe so,
Huh.
yeah. I've seen some of it.
Yeah, and a manga, you know, they can maybe get the author on board, and, you know, it's like, oh yes, this, and this, and this. Because that's the other thing. Anime scripts are usually written, like, separately from the scripts of the light novel and manga. Because, you know, you have to account for, like, action seeds, pacing, like, how long it actually takes to say something. You know, you can only fit so much...
At the very least, you have to script it episode by episode, as opposed to, like, chapter by chapter, whatever you want to do it, however it ends up being organized, right? So...
Yeah. So while they still have, you know, the source material and access to, you know, the creator, they still have to, you know, condense it down, make basically... They have to take all the parts and make it so it all fits without losing cohesion.
Yeah,
Which...
like Nasu talked about this with last Encore, where basically, as opposed to trying to do a straight adaptation of the game script, he had to, like, basically rewrite the entire plot as a short novel, like, in extended prose form, and then the anime company broke that up into episodes and storyboards and stuff.
Unfortunately, it's still confusing as fuck.
Well, yeah, but that's because that was... again, that means it was pure unfiltered Nasu that they were adapting from. Like, as opposed to the, once again, speaking about, you know, video game scripts, that obviously has lots of, like, compromises and different complexities in the way it's paced. Because you have to literally include gameplay with dialogue and stuff. So, like, he just wrote the entire story out long form, and then they adapted it, so, yeah.
Nasu, you're a madman.
Mm-hmm.
I got
like, if you want to get just pure adaptation of Nasu's writing style, watch the K&K movies, because that was a light novel series that he wrote solo, before, you know, Tsukihime or Fate or anything, which was very well adapted by Ufotable. So
yeah, I love the K&K movies. I really do. Actually, here's something funny. That's like a final thought. It's like you might have something to weigh in on this. So a friend of mine asked me, hey, I want to get into the Fate series. What should I start with? And I was like,
ooh, that's a deep question that lots of Fate fans have to, like, think about.
Yeah, so do you know what a lot of people, like, actually mentioned this in Discord, and a lot of people gave me the shocked looks and gasp, and I'm pretty sure one person fainted. But I actually said, like, if you want an entry series into Fate, I say start with Fate Apocrypha.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're doing.
Because let me explain my reasoning for this. The biggest reason why I say Fate Apocrypha is because it is the most unconnected Fate series there is. Because if you, like, try to start watching, you know, like, the main story, that means you have Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, as well as the movies, which are basically all the same story and each has their own sets of information. So until you watch them all, you will not have a complete picture.
And you can't even watch them all because Heaven's Feel's not done yet.
Yep. As I said, and then you have spin-offs like, you have the spin-offs like Carnival Phantasm, Today's Menu with Emiya Family, Ilia Prisma. Like, you have all those which are based off of that. So you basically look at the main Fate story, and no matter where you go, you're not gonna get a complete picture quickly. So
well, yeah, also Prisma's an entirely different thing, but I wouldn't start anybody on Prisma, but that's because
no, but it's like, but still the thing of, it's still in that same bubble of characters and whatnot.
And like we just talked about, I wouldn't start anybody with Last Encore either, because that's a adaptation that's also confusing as fuck.
Yeah. So, well, like, whatever you might say about, like, the actual quality of Fate Apocrypha, it's still a self-contained story that still covers the main points that explains what a Holy Grail War is, how it's fought, the characters involved in, the organizations involved in it, and all that stuff.
Yeah, if you want to understand what the Fate universe is all about, Apocrypha is a pretty good entry. Like, if you maybe don't like some of the characters or whatever, or you don't like the pacing. Well, so Vesper mentioned that it does have loose... I mean, kind of, but the split in the two timelines occurs way in the past for Fate Stay Night. So, like, you don't need to know who Rin is, you don't need to know who Shiro is, you don't need to know anything about Fuyuki itself, just that the Grail used to be in Fuyuki, but then Darnik stole it with some Nazis. Mm-hmm. And killed some people, but they don't matter. And, like, it will mention details, but they don't actually matter to the story. Everything is presented, I think, in a new light.
Yeah. And as again,
because it was at the time of the Third Grail War, don't need to worry about Angra. He didn't fall in yet. That's actually the timeline split. The timeline split is that the Einsborn summoned a ruler instead of Avenger. Because they're cheaty fucks.
So... Because,
there are references you won't get, because Mordred's summoning scene is meant to deliberately foil Artoria's summoning scenes, but you can get that in reverse order, too. Like, you can understand that going the other direction.
Honestly, from what I can tell, there's a lot of things foiling Artoria's summoning scenes in Fate media.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing that's weird about Fate, is almost everything is a reference to an iconic classic scene. Like, because it was a visual novel originally, so, like, you had story CGs, which would be the very iconic scenes, and the porn scenes are not the iconic ones. No. We actually don't like to talk about those, because that was very clearly them trying to sell this to a different market. But anyway.
So...
But yeah, so the Artoria being summoned is a very classic, iconic scene. There are a lot of parallels deliberately drawn to it.
Because, like I said, judging, Apocrypha, just as is, I still think it's, a very solid show.
Yeah, so, because I know some people will probably, I know we've talked about this long before, about complaints about Apocrypha, do you like Apocrypha's pacing, its characters, whatever. I think fundamentally it hits the points you need to understand. Fate is not actually a story about legends and heroes and stuff. Because it even says this is not a story of these guys. They're just part of it. It's a story about people, right?
Yeah.
Which is...
So I can show them just this 126 episode... 26? Sure, and it says, alright, do you like stuff like this? Okay, now let me introduce you to this clusterfuck.
Yeah, alright. Well, let's see how that could have gone.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody is going whole hog, I want to start the Fate series from as close to a 0 point as possible. I actually still recommend that you try and do the Dean Fate Stay Night. Like, it's very dated, but the original Fate, the original Stay Night starting arc, the first one you have to do, is fairly self-contained. It introduces you to the characters and lots of concepts you need to know, and doesn't spoil you anything for the future.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I say that, because...
Well, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It would reveal that Kyrie is a bad guy, but everybody can tell that about Kyrie in Zero anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. The point of contention is, do you start at Stay Night or do you start at Zero, basically? And I say, while you should probably do Zero before Unlimited Blade Works, because the two anime are almost very deliberately made to dovetail off each other, at the same time, like, there's there's shit in, like, the original Fate Stay Night that will be spoiled if you start at 0.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do think, though, if you're doing it, you should show 0 before Unlimited Blade Works, because, like, the way the two animes are formed is almost like Ufotable deliberately picked those two storylines to, like, play off each other, because 0 will give you investment on who Rin is and what her deal is and what's going on there, right? And, like, the relationship with Kyrie and what Gilgamesh is doing. It doesn't spoil the reveal of, yeah, Vesper is a good point that, like, no matter what you do, you will figure out something. It's just, I think the way that, like I said, like, Unlimited Blade Works is phrased is 0 won't spoil you on its big twists, that are specific to Unlimited Blade Works and are not just general Fate Stay Night spoilers. And it lets you get a grasp of Artoria as a character. Like, because that's another thing is, like, while I do, like, obviously I feel like Urobuchi was very hard on Artoria writing because that's just his intrinsic fucked up nature. At the same time, you completely understand what Artoria's character point is as portrayed in the anime moving into it from 0, where bad stuff happens. And, you know, it sets up all this other stuff. Like I said,
I made a joke later that I'm gonna tell them that the first anime should be Today's Menu with Amiya Family. And when they got done with that, it's like, alright, you see all those characters? Now imagine them trying to kill each other violently.
No, yeah, if you're actually doing it, you should not start people with Today's Menu, because Today's Menu is, like, healing and good. You want that after.
Yeah.
After, like, all that fucked up shit. You're like, okay, let's relax with these characters for once. Like, if you start somebody out there, then you're in a bad space, right? Because, like, then you have to go from there to something else.
Like, honestly, Carnival Phantasm and Today's Menu are very cleansing.
Yeah, Carnival Phantasm is great. But also, you can just YouTube all the Fate skits and, like, watch them in an hour. And then, after you're done with all the Stay Night adaptations, or as much as you can, because Heaven Feel's not out all the way yet, then I would say, then that's like, okay, do you still like this? Do you want to go deeper? Okay, let's watch, like, Last Encore. Okay, you still here? Alright, well, now we're gonna do something completely different. Let's watch this new case file shit that's out. And we'll see what happens with the Babylonia anime, because that's gonna be very weird.
Yeah, people
like,
have
obviously,
been actually talking about
FGO is huge. They just passed 17 million downloads, so, like, they have a baked-in audience. I'm just really curious how it's gonna work.
Yeah, because that was actually, they showed the English sub trailer at the stream. So we're probably gonna get that streamed on. I probably want to say Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll has been picking.
Yeah,
up
I believe
a lot
Crunchyroll has a pretty good relationship with Aniplex.
Yeah,
that's usually where their shit ends up.
Yeah,
that or Netflix, but I feel like they're not gonna want to go that route.
Yeah.
And if they do, I might be a little upset.
But, like, a lot of people have been talking about, like, some people feel like it's weird to start, like, this thing at Camelot and Babylonia.
Well,
because you're so, it's so late into
you're
the
starting
story.
at the end, but at the same time, ostensibly, how they pitched it was this was a decision of a poll, and they did a popularity poll, and guess what? Babylonia was number 1 overall with the populace, and Camelot was number 2. So that's why they ended up in those slots, and that makes sense because those are some of the best written and best overall designed stories.
Some people were complaining that, like, there's a lot of information missing from other channels. I was thinking about it, like, not actually, because basically the third thing that you learn, like, going throughout all the singularities is basically who the big bad is and what the fuck they're trying to do.
Right. Because it's a time-oriented story, it's a slow build.
Yeah.
The important, like, plot-wise, the stories that actually matter is Fuyuki Matters, which was already done. That was an OVA. So they had the very beginning where you understand, oh, you got to call Dave. Everything's great. Oh shit, everything's not great. Everything's on fire. Oh fuck. Everybody's dead, Dave.
You are a dick. Your fucking hairstyle gave it away.
You don't really learn anything in Orleans. That's just introducing you to the world and the mechanics, basically, of what you're supposed to do. You don't really learn anything either in Septum, other than that you discover that Lev was secretly a demon pillar the whole time. And
Also,
he
Nero's
immediately
great,
jobs to Altera,
apparently.
so it's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Okeanos was next. You don't really learn anything new there, other than that Medelia Lily lets it slip that the person who summoned her to do the demon pillar stuff was a mage, even more powerful than she. I'm like, okay, that doesn't tell us anything. Then you get to London. Now, London's an actual story that actually matters, because it actually covers important shit. Namely, Solomon himself shows up. But, unfortunately, most people do not have a deep-seated love of London for some reason. I don't know, they're crazy. It's great. I love it. Not just because there's lots of Mordred, even. No, it's secretly because there's lots of Hans. No. But, London actually has plot touchstones, and it actually does stuff that matters. America doesn't really teach you anything new. Like, Merlin shows up for a cameo. I think that's the only meta-plot important thing that happens. And then Camelot is not necessarily very meta-plot heavy, but it definitely touches on some more themes and also, works into some other ideas of what's going on here.
I would have to say, honestly, that Camelot is when you, as a player, you honestly feel that the stakes are fucking real.
Right, because Camelot has a very specific way it handles, and it introduces a lot of characters, like it... Oh, again, this is going to be a weird thing because Babylonia is actually coming at first. It sets up King Hassan. It kind of establishes a lot of weird traits and things. That's also going to... I just realized that's also going to be really weird that they're doing Camelot, and I guess it'll work because they did Apocrypha already, but Mordred's going to be an antagonist in those movies. That's going to be weird. Because I feel like the way it's written as a singularity, it deliberately plays off London. So there's lots of little details that that if you were doing a 1-to-1 translation would be weird. But
also,
not,
I don't know if the Babylonia anime is going to be 1 core or 2. If it's
we don't know.
If it's 2 cores, that means it's going to go into the winter. That means the first Camelot movie will be out.
It really needs to be 20-something episodes, though.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does. It should be.
Excuse me, I need my slice of life episodes of me running around Babylonia doing odd jobs, okay?
Well, also, fuck, it's a 3-act story structure. That would be, what, an hour and a half each arc, basically? I don't think that's enough time. Yeah. It's not even an hour and a half, because the anime episodes are actually 20 minutes, so it's an hour each arc. That's not enough time. When you're also having to do, action scenes and shit, no way. No fucking way.
Camelot's hilarious in the fucking demon pillar aspects because it's fucking Ozymandias being all
Oz has the grail and he hijacks the demon pillar.
It's because I'm fucking great.
But the story writing is really good. So like everybody says, there are some scenes that I need animated, and they're gonna do really well. Actually, they brought out anime producers for Babylonia for a big long time on the stream where they talked about lots of stuff. One of the things I was super glad to hear was one of the senior producers actually said, so we know that the game has a really good soundtrack, and we are integrating and reorchestrating that for the anime. I'm like, yes. I'm just waiting for the rerun of Gorgon's theme, because I really love that already. But yeah, so the fact that they're doing that is going to be really good. I'm excited that hopefully they give the anime the treatment it needs. And also, lots of people are happy because they showed off, keyframes and visuals of Ushi and Leonidas and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. A lot of people are excited because, hey, that means we actually get to see Leonidas' NP animated.
Oh, yeah.
And some other stuff. Also, if you missed the stream, you missed out because Ayako Kawasumi was there and she made faux noises.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Which was their joke that, by the way, Ayako Kawasumi is in this. She's faux. And everybody got these little faux hats to wear, in their seats and stuff. So yeah. Anime's gonna be cool. But no, there's literally 2 scenes I need in the Camelot anime, and they're gonna be at the end of both of the movies, I think. Because the first one is gonna be Stella, and the second one is gonna be Lord Camelot. Mm-hmm. They'll do some good stuff, I hope.
Yeah, I hope they save a good portion of the animation budget for it.
Well, movies are usually higher budget and very much flowy, too, so...
Vesper is saying wants to see Ushi and Benkei's comedy routines in animation. Which again, this is one of those things. Like a lot of people think of like the serious sides of Babylon, but for me, it's like honestly like that first part where Caster goes like, "The fuck, I don't need you. Go do some like odd jobs," and he's getting jealous that all this interesting shit's happening to you.
Vesper, I'm going to deeply disappoint you because I could care less about Benkei. They showed the key visual and I'm like, boo, get this out of here. Show me something I care about.
I don't know, that scene when Benkei comes to get Dark, oh god, are they gonna animate that fucking temple scene?
Again, listen, they're gonna animate lots of scenes, so.
Oh man.
We're gonna.
Inside Gorgon's temple? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a concern all of a sudden.
But is it a Tama concern?
We're not quite Tama concerned yet.
Another fairly popular emote on the Discord. There are many times to be concerned, but yes, no, we're gonna see some shit.
We're gonna see some shit, but I am excited.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it's handled, and hopefully it handled good.
Coming this fall.
By the way, somehow we've managed to go for almost an hour and a half, even though we're sleepy.
I got a power of monster in me. It's ultraviolet, which I always read as ultraviolet, which I go, yes, I am.
That's definitely a pun that's been made before.
Mm-hmm. But as I said, Lucky is good about, dredging up things to talk about.
Yeah, so we talk about anime a lot. I think that's about it, everything.
Yeah, let's see here.
Let's see. JP, either during or after the special tie-in is done, there should be the Summer 3 rerun, so there's not going to be anything new out of Japan for the rest of this month, basically. But as soon as August rolls around, anniversary. Well, I think it's the very tail end of July, but anniversary 4, Summer 4. So everybody, hold on to your butts and pray for all the many people in our community who started new JP accounts for Mao Nobu, because they're fucked now.
Yeah,
it's a deep cut danger time.
Yeah. Everyone, start speculating wildly on Summer 4 servants.
Much speculation has already occurred, but anyway.
Yeah.
So that's coming. We're gonna be doing the Summer 1 rerun for a while. Like I said, it'll probably be in about a couple of weeks unless we get some sudden advance announcement that makes more sense. We'll probably do the pregame for that in a couple of weeks, so if you're not sure what's up, you're not sure what teams to pick, we'll do that. Also, depending on how much of a pain in the ass it is, I will hopefully bring back the teams thing, like I did for whatever the second Guda Guda is, that I don't remember the name right now. Meiji Ishin, that's right. Meiji Ishin. I can't pronounce good right now either. But yeah, I will probably bring back the team so everybody can declare what team you're racing for in the server. Hopefully. Hopefully that's not too much of a pain in the ass, because there are like 8 of them now. And the command never worked, so people just had to send me messages. But anyway, we'll try when that gets started, so look forward to that. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else news-wise there to worry about.
No, let's see here.
I'll check what the exact stats on the poll are, but we're running Teach Me Omega Sensei right now. It will end in a few days.
Ooh.
But let's see. Our current options are: what is the Mages Association, what do we know about Grand Servants, and what is a Singularity?
Let's win it.
And I gotta scroll now, because this was back at the start of the month. Currently, what is the Mages Association is winning. They're at about half the votes. There's about 8 votes out of, let me see what's possible. That's a 5 and up, so there's like, I don't have the research, but there's more people who could vote. So if you haven't yet, consider it. Because what is a Singularity is trailing just behind. But as of the moment, it looks like Mage Association is going to win. So look forward to that probably next week, because I'll need plenty of time to write my notes.
I am excited because,
yeah,
like I said, when I first heard you are now a cause, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was you who had to say, oh, that's a Mage Association racing book. I'm like, I literally just saved the world from incineration, and you gave me the lowest fucking rank. It's like, you got some explaining about your politics to do, boys.
Yeah.
Especially with the Case Files anime coming out. Actually, I think this might be a very on point.
I think that's why it's winning, is because the Case Files anime is starting.
Because, as I said, that's something you definitely see in the Case Files anime. There's, Mage Association is definitely an old boy club. with a lot of politicking.
Yes.
So,
And there are some graphics to kind of explain internal divisions and stuff too, which we'll
Yeah.
pull up. Though also I
that'd
learned
be
from
super helpful.
reading this graphic that apparently the archaeology department at the clock tower is evil because that's where all of the assholes come from. Like, I think that was Lev's department as well as all the villains from K&K. So I'm like, wow, so this department is just full of shitty people. Rip.
They found something that they shouldn't have, and it is effective throughout all timelines. Actually, that could be an actual fucking thing. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it, Nazi.
Because Case Files is also its own timeline. We're going to see some interesting things. Depending on the story arc, we may or may not see some cameos from some other characters from other points in the
Speaking
timeline.
of cameos, I'm pretty sure Waver made an appearance in Apocrypha.
Yeah, he does actually. He's in the intro in there. Flat does too.
Yeah.
His apprentice, who you will see more of in one of his many students, who you will see more of in. Well, I assume you will see more of in Case Files. Like I said, I'm more familiar with the setup, not the actual details of the plots, because as the joke was lovingly translated when you were like, "Where's a Dragon Slayer when you need him?" He's like, "Please watch Fate Apocrypha on something or other flicks," or about the light novels. Well, you could import them because the joke at the time in Japan was the anime is broadcasting on TV now, and you can buy the light novels. Well, guess what? In America, it's streaming, or I guess you could import the light novels. God, I really need Aniplex US to like get in touch with some publishers, some book publishers, because I know they've talked about how they don't have those resources themselves. Like we need some printings of some fucking written material over here in this country. God damn it!
I said the light novels are, as I said, are becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they just need a licensing partner, basically.
Yeah. See, I will do a quick check here.
But yeah, because I wouldn't mind some of a lot of the Fate series are in light novel form, and they have mangas that need to be brought over, and also I still want Matt's books.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I know that I don't know if they translated it because it was an art book, but I know they brought over the CE collection book, which is only available at one of the USA Tour panels. Rip.
Ah! I scream.
But I don't know how much. I don't know if that was translated so much as they may have shipped over a couple in a small limited run, and that's why it was only available in a limited amount.
Man, if it was still in JP, I'd still get it.
Well, yeah, because it's an art book mostly. Right?
Gesundheit,
by the way.
We've
We've been gone for like an hour and a half, which is like way longer than I thought we would. I thought we'd be dead by now.
Haha. I have the power to move you.
But I think that's about time to wrap up. So look forward next week to more stuff, I guess, and we'll probably talk about the Maids Association because the poll will be done by then. And look out for future Summer 2 pre-games and stuff. And let's see. I think you gotta wait 2 weeks. Yeah, because Morge's Raid-Up doesn't start until the 22nd, or I guess technically, I believe it's a midnight rollover, so it'll be. Well, actually, in that case, because everything's Pacific, then it won't be until actually when it becomes the 23rd for me. But yeah, so it won't be until 2 weeks from now until I can talk about whether or not I got anything on that fucking Raid-Up. God damn it, FGO. But I think that's everything. Lucky, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope, I'm good.
That is a great sound wave, just you going, eh. Alrighty. In that case, let's wrap up. So, if you like this episode, give it a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to, you can join our Discord. That link is in the description. And if you're new here and haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Remember, we're going to do a live show when we hit 2,000 subs. So you can be part of that push. And also consider hitting that bell for notifications, even if you're already subbed, so you always know when we post a new video. And, of course, like it says at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. Just because we're monetized now doesn't mean we're suddenly rich. That is its own form of complex payout, so consider supporting us on Patreon. And you can still get goodies, like our episodes in audio format, downloadable for just as little as $1 a month. Our entire back catalog, all the way back, to as far back as we started making audio downloads. And, yeah, I think that's about everything. So tune in next week for more Let's Talk FGO. Hopefully tune in later this week for an episode of What's Up, because I got some stuff to talk about, so hopefully we're up to do one of those sometime. We'll see. Who knows? We may be dead. Or undead, as is usual for us. And stay tuned for other stuff. So, hey, to pimp old videos, I did Wanteds on both Tama Lancer and our Swimsuit Artoria, so you can check those out if you're interested in them and haven't rolled for them yet. And I guess that means I have to do Wanteds for the next 2 new 5-star Summer Servants, so look for those in the future.
I am ready for some maid altar.
And yeah, I think that's the point where the show ends, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to be back with you for a nice, beefy episode, and enjoy your summer, everyone.
Remember to wear sunscreen.